For those unfamiliar, up top, red is S tier. That's terrific. That's optimal outcome. And then kind of down here is avoid in gray. So kind of going top is best, bottom is worst. And I've got over here opportunities as you kind of see them come through the hiring channel or as you're outbound looking for opportunities or maybe something come through here. So this is best for either one of you guys that are brand new here and kind of want to understand how to evaluate opportunities, or for those that are looking to make a switch, either going from setter to closer, closer to manager, moving offers, moving industries, wanting to level up. All that is important. And so, what I'm going to do here is kind of break down my experience and kind of my thoughts on where an offer is in different stages that I usually kind of hear. I've got them in 10 different stages over here. Let's put them on the board and kind of see where they're at. So again, for those of you that are looking for something new, it's going to be dependent totally on your own risk tolerance level and what you're looking for and how to go about those things, right? Like again, the overall principle is don't disrupt income streams unless you have to, but hopefully this video can actually help you analyze some opportunities. So let's go ahead and dive in. So let's go ahead and start right here, which is going to be, all right, put me there. Cool. Existing offer that's about to up their ad spend. This is something we hear quite often. And usually what happens is someone, whether the offer owner or a manager or an agency, someone comes in and says, hey, we're going to up ad spend and increase your revenue. And so then to match the ad spend, we're going to kind of build out a sales team. And so in this one, this is kind of a red herring because when you see here, we're about to up ad spend, great. You might think that the business has money. They're in a good spot. They're in a period of growth, but that's not always quite the case. Sometimes a business might be struggling and that's why they're increasing ad spend, or maybe that their revenue has been declining. And so they need to increase ad spend to make sure and make up for that. Also puts a lot of pressure on the revenue team because as you're spending money on ads, that is a leading input for business growth. And what they're expecting is, okay, the more that we spend on ads, the more money we're going to make. But what if the ads are bad? Or what if they're delivering the wrong leads for you as a salesperson that doesn't actually get you to qualify or sell them? So for that one, I always kind of say this is a red herring. I know ads about to increase ad spend may seem like a good signal, but I would always say it's likely not worth the risk. Again, there's going to be a ton of context here in a lot of these, but for overall, if someone's about to up ad spend, likely not worth the risk. It should be like right here. But again, when we're talking about opportunities and evaluating these all in a vacuum, I would say likely not worth the risk. Okay, let's go into new offer experienced operator. This should be someone who has been an online entrepreneur and a coach or someone that's launching a new offer, but they have experience kind of generating businesses. So in their recruiting pitch, they may say, whoever's handling the recruiting, if it's an agency client, we're going to say, hey, this is someone that has done this in this realm and now they're doing this in this realm. I would say likely not worth the risk here. New offer experience. Again, when you're talking about taking on your business, you got to think about risk and reward. You don't have any reason to understand or believe that what their new offer is going to like actually produce for your business and your income and your earning is actually going to work. So I would say probably likely not worth the risk. Existing office offer, new manager. This is going to be the case where an agency or a revenue operator, like what we do at the agency, is coming in for an existing offer, and usually we are taking over the sales process and kind of revamping what they want to do, mostly to take back the business owner's time. Or maybe they had a previous sales organization. So in this case, I would say these are usually likely worth the risk. They already have proven a business model. They've been generating revenue in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're taking over for a completely phone-focused team. Maybe you're doing something along whatever the case may be. You're coming at this from a million different ways. I would say it's worth the risk, especially if you can understand the previous business's numbers and understand how to assess your expectations going forward. Now let's go to new offer, lack of experience. So this is going to be someone that's going to launch a new offer and they don't have any experience. Obviously, that's worth a void, right? For your time and your energy as a closer, even as a sales rep, as an SDR, no matter what you're doing, your time is highly leveraged. You're very valuable to the business and you're very close to the top line revenue of the business. You're very close to where all the money's transacted. That's very important. It's very valuable. You need to have enough self-worth and self-value to know that a new offer is not worth your time. It's usually not. Even if you are a brand new rep, usually not. Because if you are, you're probably not going to have the support and resources to actually level up and learn at the rate that you're going for. And that's the only reason you would ever accept a position on an offer when you're first starting out is to learn. Obviously, you got to pay your bills. I'm taking that into fact as like you got to do that first. Otherwise, you got to learn, and that's not going to be a good learning opportunity. So, okay, let's go. Existing offer, hiring to create demand. This happens all the time. Basically, an offer has spun up and is running, and basically they're going to say, well, maybe I'm not good at sales, but let's hire a salesperson or a sales team to help generate more revenue. That's usually not how it works. The person that is in charge of starting this whole process is usually the traffic team. And there are 3 principles here. There are 3 functions of an online business: traffic, revenue, fulfillment. And usually, an existing offer wants to hire to create demand to make more money. If we hire a sales team, we'll make more money. It's kind of the assumption that starts this whole process. That's not usually how it works. You need to have a constraint in the business where demand is basically increasing and you can raise prices, but demand is going up and your ability to fulfill is going down. That's going to drive price. That's going to drive demand out, not hiring new reps. So again, this is usually likely not worth the risk, most cases, right? Some context here. New offer has funding. This is going to be an interesting one because this is going to be like startups or someone like that, or maybe they're taking revenue from an old business into a new business. I would say that's usually worth the risk. If a business has enough validation in the market to justify funding, then they usually have an underlying idea there that could be worth your time and energy. I did this back in 2019 in the corporate space. I took a role. I got out of commercial real estate and took a role in the startup, basically leading the entire growth team in tech sales, and especially how we were doing it for like B2C, and we were going for user growth. Growing that business was called growth, and so that was I took on the entire sales process, and I was able to actually get some quick wins and learn a ton. I mean, I was just like you guys. I was sending out as many DMs as I could until I got flagged from Facebook, Instagram, and a couple of other platforms, basically maxing out my daily limit, and even sometimes creating new accounts to send out more DMs. So, anyways, new offer has funding. There's some validation, and it's probably worth the risk, right? There's a ton of upside, and usually the comp plans for those newer offers are pretty beneficial, no matter what, whether it's in high ticket, corporate, whatever it is. Existing offer, hiring to meet demand. This is like go for it. If a business is growing because they are booking too many sales calls, or they had to turn off ad spend because they don't have an availability on the calendar, they're booked out. Go for it. I mean, that is a great opportunity to earn for your business. If that were a client, you would definitely want them as a client. If you're hopping on board early stage and this were the case, obviously you want to be on board. So existing offer, hiring to meet demand, always go for it. It's usually going to be beneficial in your case, regardless of the industry or the niche or whatever. So, okay, new offer starting from scratch. Avoid with some context, right? It's like, again, if you're in a spot where you have plenty of savings and runway, and this is an offer that like just naturally just scratches an itch that you have, whether it's an intellectual curiosity or you've always wanted to work with someone or something like that, then by all means take that time and know that you're probably not going to be delivering yourself commissions or income for a while, but it will fulfill you in other ways, and then eventually you can see a path toward profitability there and really get leverage of your time. For sure, go for it. But overall, mostly avoid. Existing offer, sales led by founder. If you're coming on and a founder is moving out of the sales cycle, I would say go for it, because usually if you have the support in this transition period, if it's either an agency managing the transition from getting the founder out and moving someone in, or this founder is really good at sales and then moving you in, they want to move on to fulfillment or traffic. This always usually go for it, because you're going to have, like, if they're doing the good numbers, and then you can basically temper your expectations and lower the percentages and lower the benchmarks. Show rate's going to be lower, close rate's going to be lower, cash collect rate's going to be lower, offer rate's probably going to be lower, right? If you account for all those changes, but it's a good offer and they're doing good numbers, it's usually a great opportunity. I know that this is usually the case for agency clients. Most top, maybe kind of here and there. But for the ones that we've recruited for recently, we brought in the founder. And for the most part, they've been pretty good opportunities to take. Now, I'm not talking about what happens once you get in, if they change stuff, but I'm just talking about evaluating opportunities to see if you actually should accept that job offer. Usually it's going to be a go for it. And then new offer, my buddy is starting. This is something that I surprisingly hear quite often of, like, oh, I've got sales skills. My buddy's starting a company. I'll go do sales for him. First of all, I have a personal rule is like, don't work with friends. Develop relationships and maybe become friends with people that you choose to work with instead. Um, it just sets like a weird expectation if you're working with friends. This is what I started doing when I started copywriting back during COVID and started kind of my own content agency. We were doing like content writing and copywriting and a bunch of other stuff. Um, and that was fine, but it just kind of led to a weird sticking point where I was delivering good work, but their business wasn't growing because I didn't have anybody, I didn't have like full transparency to what was going on. Anyway, so I would always just say avoid. So again, when you're evaluating opportunities, this is kind of what you want to go for. The best ones are always going to be an existing offer that is usually fulfilling demand in some way, shape, or form. That's going to be the best ones to go for it. The only thing you would ever, only chance you would ever want to take in joining a new offer is if they have like actual funding as a startup, or they have a lot of backing to make this work. Maybe they have uh, money to spend on ads and launch this in a realm or a niche that's proven out. Maybe that's the case. But for the most part, just look for existing offers that are doing well and hiring for demand. Hope that helps. Let me know if this is entertaining. Let me know if this is kind of worth it. I'd be happy to make another one of these. Maybe comment down below a little bit more of the types of offers that you're seeing and to figure out whether or not you should actually take the leap and accept that offer and, put your business at risk. See ya.